So this is in Boston. This is Satan Con. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there was over the weekend a big convention. It's called Satan Con. Before we watch this, here's what I know about Satanism, at least the popular version of it that I know about. It's that it is essentially non-religious. The Satanism that we hear quite a bit about is non-religious. As a matter of fact, a lot of the people that are the Satanists claim to be atheists. So they don't believe in God. They don't believe in Satan. What they're talking about is ideologies. So they're talking about ideologies. They're not talking about actual Satan. They're not talking about actual God. It's a completely different sort of conversation that's being had. I want you guys to have that in the back of your mind as we're going to react to this. By the way, this was in Boston. So this is in Boston. This is Satan Con.
Hail community!
I have no idea what that guy's wearing. But so essentially what's happening is this is the same exact thing as Comic-Con, in my opinion. Okay, this is cosplay. These are individuals that don't believe that there's actually a God, that don't believe that there's actually a Satan, but want to dress up certain ways. This dude's dressed, I don't know, it looks like one of those like canvases where people just threw paint on. Like he could have made it himself. What they're doing is they're hailing a non-existent entity, which is really strange to me. Like, why would you give praise to or hail something that doesn't exist? Ideologically, you can say I'm in agreement with this ideology or that ideology, but it's just so fun. And the passion in which that they're saying it with is hilarious to me. Again, these are non-religious people.
And we stand here today in defiance of their siege and destroy their symbols of oppression.
So this woman thinks that the Bible is a symbol of oppression. You're entitled to your opinions, I suppose. It's just hilarious to me that you'd be so angry at something you don't believe. You're angry at God, whom you don't think exists. That's fine. You don't like the ideology. You think Christianity is oppressive. It's hilarious. Okay, so this is funny to me. Okay, so they just ripped the Bible and then they ripped the American flag. Do you realize that in many, many, many countries in the world, I mean, let's just put the religious stuff aside. If you were to disrespect the flag of that nation that way, there would be serious consequences to you acting like that. Both socially and legally, there would be serious consequences to you acting like that. So I suppose somebody can sit there and say, hey, you just ripped the American flag. You're welcome that we actually created a country for you where you have the freedom to rip an American flag. Don't assume you can do that everywhere in the world. I would say the same thing when it came to the ripping of the Bible. Many places in the world, if you ripped their religious text like that, you die. You would die. I don't think Christianity advocates for that. You rip the Bible, man. You can rip our book, and then as Christians, we're taught to pray for you and to love you and to feed you and care for you and act in love towards you. I just find it very silly that you would be so angry at a deity that you don't think exists, assuming that these people are actually following through with the Church of Satan and their view, which is essentially an atheistic system. So that is an American flag, but it's a certain kind of American flag specifically for support of the police in the United States. I guess my response would be when, if something, let's hope not, if something were to happen to you, you call the police and their response might be, take care of yourself. You ripped our flag. Now, they wouldn't do that. That's the cool thing about living in America. They wouldn't do that. They'd actually be held responsible, as they should, legally and morally, to come to your aid. Isn't that amazing? These aren't freedoms and privileges you're going to get in many places in the world. I can't take that guy seriously with that red thing he's got on.
We must build a new community outside of the virtual. Rebellion comes in many forms, to each and their own. within their own capabilities and their own situation. For some of us, merely existing one more day is victory. But for those of us who can, we must stand up for those who cannot.
So he said rebellion. The ideology, the innate ideology here. I wonder if they're rebellious against their own rebellion. What? Dude, why are you breaking the keyboard? Is that a keyboard? Hey, I think these guys just wanted an event to break stuff. Man, you didn't have to put a Satan thing together. You could have just like had an office space party and just broken stuff.
Addiction. So what we were doing is trying to destroy the symbols of the things that are cause harm, that oppress us, whether that is people's theocratic views, trying to instill theocratic rule in a supposed secular society.
That's a false dichotomy, by the way, that you either get secularism or theocracy. That's just not the case.
Whether that is the Supreme Court utilizing their powers to decimate our rights, give power to those who are further taking our rights away from us.
Okay, so the conversation, wow, there's money on the ground. Always going to go back to abortion and the abortion conversation, right? It's so silly and so I would say surface level conversation for serious interlocutors of ideology. When we talk about the conversation about abortion being one about, as women we have the right to do right over our own body and stuff like that. The real question at the end of the day, if you want to have a real conversation with a real pro-lifer, with someone who is really against abortion, the real question you want to ask is whether anybody has the freedom or whether anybody should have the freedom to kill their innocent child. That's the real question. Now that might beg the question, that might take you a step back and then you might have a conversation about when does a human become a human, which is more fundamental. But it is based on those questions. When is a human being a human being? And whether anybody can justifiably delete their own children, innocent children. Then we can, after that, talk about what a woman or a man has a right to.
The symbol of the flag was meant to represent the communities that the people in authoritative positions that use that to cause harm to those who need the most protection. They indoctrinate them into their worldviews based on fear and hatred.
We just had our opening ceremony, and it seemed to be very well received. We've got over 800 people registered to attend, and we've got panel discussions and presenters starting probably any minute now. We've had threats, and there are protesters, quite a few of them outside. We have no problem with them protesting. That's their right to do.
Let's read the signs, because he says we have had threats, and I'm just going to take him for his word. I'm sure somebody's threatened him. There's a Satan is evil. Evil has no rights. I wouldn't hold that sign, by the way. I wouldn't agree with that sign. I agree with Satan is evil. Evil has no rights. I mean, the fact that God gave us the freedom to choose evil seems to be a fundamental right to rebel against God. This gentleman seems to be Catholic. How do I know that? How do I know he's Catholic? Well, he's praying the rosary right here. If you choose Satan, you are God's enemy.
As long as they, keep it out there and let us do what we need to do safely inside.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners. Now,
this dude's sign says Satan is the eternal loser. I like that. That's a cool sign.
the hour of our death. Amen.
Amen. Man, this is like everybody's dressed up. That dude was dressed up in his robe. These guys are dressed up in their regalia. Like, I don't know what this is. Are they part of some, they got flags. These guys got banners, man. These guys got Roman style banners. So they're Catholics, obviously. Everybody decided to dress up and didn't tell me.
Ave Maria. Ave.
Well, to me, it's all...
Dude, the Catholics came out full swinging with drums and all that.
It's been about opposition to theocracy and authoritarianism. Satan, to me, is a very powerful symbol of rebellion and anti-authoritarianism. And, that's kind of what it is to me. Obviously, everyone's here for their own reasons. But yeah,
wait, I want to go back there. So that shirt, Satanic Abortion Clinic. All right, at least they're admitting abortion clinics are satanic.
it is to me. Obviously, everyone is here for their
This
own
guy's a
reasons.
relativist, by the way.
But yeah, for me, I don't like being told what to do, and I don't like people telling other people what to do either.
I love comments like that, man. The guy said, I don't like being told what to do, and I don't like other people being told what to do. Is he telling me not to tell him what to do anything? If I were to tell him to stop doing that, would he tell me that I should stop doing what I'm doing? Our conversations can't be this simplistic. Really. Again, Christian, atheist, whatever. I don't like being told what to do. Really. Really, you really do not like being told what to do on anything. You don't think anybody anywhere should tell anyone what to do. Is that what? Absolutely not. Like you cannot exist like that. It's impossible. And the fact that you don't like totalitarianism and authoritarianism is essentially you saying, don't do it that way. You're telling other people what to do. Talk about a living, walking, breathing contradiction.
I've received death threats leading up to this. I'm sure there's been death threats sent to our headquarters. Back in the summertime, there was an arson attack in our headquarters that did a substantial amount of damage and could have killed a number of people inside, including visitors. So it's not just...
So again, I should say that Christians should not be acting in these ways. These are very unbiblical ways to act.
idle threats. People actually, do stuff. And we had our director of programming for SatanCon a few years ago had a gunman show up at her house and threatened to kill her, and the police had to come and take him away.
Look at capitalism in full effect, ladies and gentlemen. Look how capitalistic this event is. Like, seriously. They keep showing this. They keep showing the merch setup they have there. And all the mugs they're selling with Satan on it. And, hey, that mug is $30. Dude, that mug is $30. The Apologia Center mugs are only $20. It's just hilarious to me how capitalistic this event is. It's so American. I don't have much to say about that. It's just a bunch of people playing dress up, in my opinion. Somehow sneaking in their ideology. Like, everybody seems to be there for their own reasons, as like I said. So they're all relativists. They're like, you can't even pin them down and say you're here for this reason because this is the event theme of the event or something like that.